What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So previously I've made tier list videos about the best dungeons to farm gold in the classic world and also in the Burning Crusade, and I asked you guys what I should make a tier list about next in terms of gold making, and naturally a lot of people wanted me to do Wrath of the Lich King, so that's what we're gonna do in today's video. Before we do that though, once again, do have to say a massive thank you for all the support on the 0 to 10 million gold guide. This is a digital gold guide, meaning that you open it up on your computer and it features all the best tactics and methods that I personally use in order to make hundreds of millions of gold. Even better is the fact that it comes with a lifetime of free updates, meaning that whenever there's a new patch or even a brand new expansion like Midnight, I update the exact same gold guide with the new best methods, and then I send that version of the gold guide to your email completely for free. Now, you can find that link down below in the description, and by using the discount code STUDENT, you also get it for 50% off. And yes, I know there's a lot of you guys that already have the gold guide, and if you do, you're definitely going to enjoy the VIP Discord as well. Because once you join in, you can view all my videos before they go to YouTube, giving you a slight advantage. But you also get exclusive content in forms of gold tips, multiple spreadsheets for gold making, TSM groups and operations, and you can even get access to my investments for stuff such as player housing, Midnight, and much, much more. But that will also be linked down below in the description. And now we're going to take a look at the tier list. Now, Wrath of the Lich King is different because in the classic dungeons, pretty much every dungeon, with a few exceptions, drops a lot of items that is specific to that dungeon. Wrath of the Lich King, yeah, it kinda has the same thing, but all of the dungeon-specific items, for the most part, are really bad. So there are a couple of exceptions which we will talk about in this video as I'm rating the dungeons, but just know that usually when people farm Wrath of the Lich King, they are after world drop green items, right? Where you're trying to get items like you can pickpocket in some dungeons for like the Warren Troll dice. You can get like Astral Light Bow, which is a massive bow, and there's a couple of bows with like different colors than the Astral Light Bow, really valuable. There's a couple of weapons with unique appearance, green ones, and all these can drop from these dungeons. So you're just trying to basically combine the world drops with something else. So we're gonna start off with Azjol-Nerub, and it's so hard to rate this dungeon because if you haven't farmed this dungeon before, there are like literally less than a handful of mobs in the entire dungeon that can drop the item, like that has like a loot table. So you're just running the dungeon to kill like 2 mobs in order to get the unknown archaeologist hammer, which is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, one-hand mace in the game. It's like the size of a gnome, and it is worth almost 1 million gold. So, but that's about it, though. You're just running it over and over and over again, trying to get the mace. But I will put it as like an A tier dungeon because, yes, it's difficult to get, but it's not that difficult to get, and it has an insane price. Considering its value, it's not too hard to sell as it is a unique appearance weapon. So I think the effective gold per hour on running Azjol-Nerub, if you have characters on different realms, so you can run it on different realms to avoid the 10 instance per hour lockout, I think the effective gold per hour on running Azjol-Nerub could be really, really good. Next up, Calling of Stratholme. I don't have a lot to say about Calling of Stratholme. I'm going to put it as a D tier. It's not good at all. I don't like it. This is by all means also, there are some stats behind my choices here, but also some is just based off personal preference, right? As it is my tier list. Drak'Tharon Keep, I'm instantly S tier. Whenever I do a Wrath of the Lich King dungeon, it's typically Drak'Tharon Keep. That is like my go-to dungeon because it has really good world drop loot table, this one, and also the mob density is very good, like the amount of kills per minute or kills per hour running Drak'Tharon Keep is really, really good. So that instantly an S tier. Forge of Souls, again, it's a D tier. I don't like the place at all. Gundrak is not bad. I like Gundrak. That's like... It depends on, like, you do Gundrak because you can combine it with skinning for Berean leather, and you can also pickpocket mobs for the Warren Troll dice that I showed you guys. So, if done on a rogue with skinning, that's the ultimate combo. It's a very good dungeon. Can also drop good, like, world drop green items in it. But with the region-wide auction house and the prices of, like, the skinning materials, it's not as good. It would be an A tier before the region-wide auction house and materials. Now it's gonna be a B tier. It's close to an A tier though. Halls of Lightning is also a B tier for me. It's actually one of the more steady ways of making gold with Wrath of the Lich King dungeon. At least it used to be. Again, before the region-wide auction house, because you would get the reputation tokens running it. And there's also elemental mobs in there, so you could get materials that way as well. And of course, there's a like decent chunk of mobs for world drop green items. Halls of Reflection, instantly a D tier. Halls of Stone is not too shabby either. There's a good chunk of mobs in it. I like it. It's not an A tier though, because I don't think I've done 100 runs of Halls of Stone many times, and the gold per hour, I've never been able to justify putting this as an A tier dungeon. Nexus is a C tier. It's alright. It's better than these dungeons down on D tier right here. There's nothing special about it though. I mean, the Oculus, we don't even need to discuss that one. Old Kingdom, also a C tier. I like it more than these dungeons. Pit of Saron is definitely... God, that's between an S tier and an A tier, actually. I think if you do this with the tailoring, it's going to be an S tier for me personally. I've made millions of gold running Pit of Saron. And you do run a Pit of Saron because you're trying to get to the Batra Tilt. The Batra Tilt has like a Horde version and an Alliance one. It's one of the few items that you cannot put into your war bank and switch between realms because it's bound to a faction. Meaning that if you run Pit of Saron on a Horde character and you pick up the Batra Tilt and you list it on the auction house, only Horde people will be able to buy it and see it. And the same thing goes for Alliance. So you can make some interesting gold on that. But it is... This is the item you're after, the Batra Tilt. Like, that's like the main thing. If you run it with tailoring, you're also going to get like all of the shirt patterns as well, making it like, if you do it over a long period of time for a good statistic, the average gold per hour is going to be very good. Now, keep in mind that this is the only dungeon on this list that you need to run on heroic mode. It doesn't drop on normal mode, so you have to run it on heroic mode, meaning that you cannot kill bosses because that will lock you to the dungeon. But that's a banger dungeon. Trial of Champion. Well, that's something that you're doing as like a daily chore because you want to get currency so you can buy pets. It's like there's like no mobs barely inside the dungeon. And it's not something that I do. I'm going to put it as a C tier. It's not going to make it for me personally as a B tier. Now, Utgarde Keep is it's fine. It's also not something that I do often. I'm going to have to put that one as a C tier as well. Same thing with the Pinnacle, as it's not something that I do often, but there's nothing specific in those dungeons that gives you a lot of gold. So it's not going to make it up to a B tier for me. Now, Violet Hold is like... Some people, you either absolutely love it or you absolutely hate it. And some people like it because it's an easy dungeon to do. So they recall it from back in the day. So it's like, nice, daily heroic is Violet Hold, super simple to do. We're not gonna wipe on this shit. But it's like time gated. It's an annoying dungeon to do if you want to just rush through a dungeon. So it's a boring one. However, and not a lot of people know this, that Violet Hold actually has a decent item, and it's like you can get a dungeon specific blue item from this dungeon, which would be this one, the Torch. It's not insane. It really depends on what realm you're posting it on, but I've sold this in the past for like 45, 50,000 gold. So that's at least something. It got a bit going for it, but it's still Violet Hold, so it's gonna be a C tier for me. So the S tier dungeons, Drak'Tharon Keep and Pit of Saron, Azjol-Nerub as an A tier, which might surprise a lot of people, but it's due to the maze, it really is. And Gundrak, Halls of Lightning, and Halls of Stones are dungeons that I'm doing frequently. It's just a nice mix-up from like doing something different than just running Drak'Tharon Keep all the time. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for today's video. Now, I do got a couple of ideas for future tier lists, but please help me out. Let me know down below in the comment section what kind of gold farming tier list you want me to do next. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see those videos when they arrive to the channel. And also check out the 0 to 10 million gold guide, as well as the VIP Discord, both linked down below in the description. I appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all back in at tomorrow's video. But until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.